We have all been there. A careless word, a dismissive glance, a sudden misunderstanding. Any of these can shatter our inner peace. In those moments, waves of anger, hurt, and frustration wash over us, and we become prisoners of our own emotions, our strings pulled by the slightest external forces. We long to break free, to find an inner strength that cannot be shaken. But where does one begin such a search? Perhaps the answer lies in an ancient wisdom, born more than 2,000 years ago. Stoicism, a philosophy from Greco-Roman antiquity, is not a doctrine that teaches us to become cold and unfeeling. On the contrary, it is a deeply empathetic and practical guide to building an unbreachable inner fortress amidst the complexities of human relationships and the unpredictability of life. This is more than a philosophical discussion. It is a profound journey of self-exploration. It is about understanding who we are, how we relate to others, and how we can find our own sanctuary of calm in a clamorous world. This journey will equip us with 5 essential keys to unlock the gates to inner freedom. Key 1. The dichotomy of control. Master what is yours, release what is not. This is the cornerstone of Stoic wisdom and the starting point for all inner peace. Imagine placing everything in your life into one of 2 baskets. In the first basket are the things you have complete control over. In the second, the things you have none. What is in the first basket? Your thoughts, your judgments, your choices, your responses, the effort you extend. This is your inner kingdom, and you are its sole sovereign. And the second? The opinions of others, their words and actions, the volatility of the market, the turn of the weather, even the state of your health. You can influence it, but you cannot fully control it. These things lie outside your kingdom. The root of our suffering often stems from a single fundamental error. We exhaust ourselves trying to control what is uncontrollable, while neglecting the one domain where we have absolute power, our own mind. When someone insults you, you cannot control their words, but you can control your interpretation of them and your chosen response. When a project fails, you cannot control the outcome, but you can control the lessons you learn and the actions you take next. This principle, while simple to understand, requires immense courage and wisdom to practice. It asks us to honestly reevaluate where we invest our energy, withdrawing it from fruitless external battles and focusing it on the one area where we can truly make a difference. The next time you feel anxious, angry, or powerless, ask yourself the simple question: is this within my control or outside of it? Like a beacon in a storm, this question can instantly illuminate your path, freeing you from the maelstrom of emotion. Key 2. Reframe the blade of language. Disarm insults by changing your view. Language can be the sharpest of weapons, capable of inflicting invisible wounds. A cutting remark or a derisive label can leave a deep scar on our psyche. Stoicism offers a powerful defense mechanism: the art of reframing. When someone directs malice toward you, remember this: their words are a reflection of their own issues, not your reality. Their speech is a projection of their own fears, insecurities, jealousy, or ignorance. It is a mirror that, instead of showing you, reveals their own distorted interior. The philosopher Epictetus once said, "Men are disturbed not by things, but by the views which they take of them." An insult itself is merely a string of sounds, neutral in its essence. It is our internal view or judgment that gives it the power to harm us. We instinctively think, "He called me a fool. This is terrible. I must prove him wrong." It is this unexamined thought that ignites the fires of our inner turmoil. So, how do we reframe? 6 as noise. Imagine a dog barking at you. Would you argue with it, trying to prove it wrong? Of course not. You can choose to treat baseless insults as meaningless background noise. Disarm with humor. When someone mocks a flaw of yours, responding with self-deprecating humor not only demonstrates confidence, but also instantly neutralizes the aggression in their words. Search for value. Sometimes, even a malicious critique may contain a kernel of truth. Try to peel away the hostile shell and calmly examine if there is a piece of feedback within that is worth your reflection and improvement. The choice not to be harmed is a power you were born with. When you cease to hand over the validation of your self-worth to others, no verbal blade can pierce the armor of your mind. Key 3. Practice negative visualization. The mind's bulletproof vest. Negative visualization may sound pessimistic, but it is one of the most forward-thinking psychological techniques in the Stoic toolkit. It is not about wallowing in disastrous fantasies. It is about consciously and calmly rehearsing potential misfortunes to diminish their impact should they ever occur. Think of it as a fire drill for the mind. We don't live in constant fear of fire, but through drills, we familiarize ourselves with escape routes and extinguishers, allowing us to remain calm if a real fire breaks out. Each morning, take a few minutes to imagine the challenges your day might hold. A difficult client, a tense meeting, a misunderstanding with a friend. Visualize these scenarios and allow yourself to feel the emotions that might arise. Then, tell yourself, these things may happen, but they will not destroy me. I have the capacity to handle them. The benefits of this practice are twofold. 1. Items builds resilience. By repeatedly rehearsing these scenarios in your mind, you desensitize yourself to them. If they do occur, they feel like familiar acquaintances rather than shocking ambushes. 2. Items cultivates gratitude. When you have imagined losing something, your health, your wealth, a loved one, you come to cherish what you have in the present moment. The everyday blessings we often take for granted are restored to their full, vibrant color. Negative visualization is not about attracting negativity. It is about building psychological immunity. It teaches us that while the storms of life are inevitable, we can prepare ourselves to be more composed and resilient captains of our own ship. Key 4. Respond with noble indifference. Reclaim your emotional sovereignty. Our most primal instinct in the face of provocation is to strike back. When a voice is raised, we raise ours louder. When words are sharp, we reply with even more venom. The result is almost always mutually assured destruction, where the problem remains unsolved and negative emotions spiral out of control. Stoicism advocates for a higher form of response, a reply rooted in reason, calm, and a touch of indifference. The indifference here is not apathy or arrogance. It is a noble, chosen indifference. It silently communicates, I see your anger, I hear your words, but I choose not to let your emotional state dictate my own. I refuse to participate in this unproductive emotional game you have initiated. This response holds immense power. It instantly severs the feedback loop the provocateur expects. They have thrown a fireball of emotion, expecting you to catch it and burst into flames. Instead, you calmly let it fall to the ground and extinguish itself. This can be disarming and often leaves the aggressor with nowhere to go. To practice this noble indifference requires great inner strength and self-awareness. When you feel yourself becoming triggered, take a deep breath. Create a buffer of a few seconds before you speak. Ask yourself, should my reason respond or should my anger? By choosing the former, you defend your emotional sovereignty. You are no longer a puppet on someone else's strings, but an independent being who determines their own inner state. This tranquility, radiating from within, is far more powerful than any heated retort. Key V. Forge an unbreakable mind through daily discipline. Just as the body's muscles require consistent exercise to grow stronger, our inner strength must be forged through daily, deliberate practice. Stoicism is not a quick fix. It is a mental fitness regimen to be integrated into the fabric of your life. Consider these simple yet effective daily exercises. At the end of each day, spend 15 minutes reviewing your experiences. What events triggered negative emotions? How did you react? According to Stoic principles, how could you have responded better? Writing this down dramatically enhances your self-awareness. When facing a challenge, consciously engage in a dialogue with yourself using Stoic wisdom. Tell yourself, this is merely an external event. It has no inherent good or bad. I cannot control it, but I can control my response. Intentionally do things that are slightly uncomfortable. Take a cold shower. Choose the stairs instead of the elevator. This helps to build your willpower and expand your psychological comfort zone. Engage in brief daily meditation, focusing on your breath. This trains your attention and allows you to return more quickly to your calm center when emotions run high. These practices may seem small, but over time, like water shaping stone, they will gradually remold your thought patterns and emotional habits. Your mind will become more resilient, more clear, and more serene. Conclusion: the freedom of an unconquerable mind. We live in a world that constantly demands an emotional response from us. The noise of social media, the friction of relationships, the pressures of a career, all are ceaselessly vying for control of our inner state. Through the wisdom of Stoicism, however, we discover that true freedom comes not from changing the world outside, but from changing our relationship with it. It grants us the ability to maintain our own peaceful harbor, even in the midst of a raging sea. The essence of this journey was perfectly captured by Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and remarkable Stoic philosopher, who wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." May you too find your strength through this ancient wisdom. Beginning today, practice mastering what you can control, interpreting the words of others with wisdom, preparing for life's challenges with courage, responding to the world's chaos with tranquility, and forging a powerful mind with discipline. In the end, you will find that the unbreachable inner fortress you have been seeking has been there all along, and you are its one and eternal guardian.